Elegant, and the 150, the darling of the turf, has raced clear 3 lengths incentivised, and it's very elegant. 10 Group 1s, and now the greatest of them all, the Melbourne Cup.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm joined by DK, the punter's
Scoot.
punter.
Live.
Hey?
Live.
We're going live.
Here we go. Got to watch our P's and Q's here.
We're pretty much one take anyway. We just have to
true.
hook up a couple of guests along the way. But it's Oaks Day. We've got Stakes Day Saturday, so we thought we'd just do a double header. Nico Noonan, collared shirt. I think it's the most dressed up I've ever seen you.
Well, I wouldn't get into Flemington if I didn't have one on. If I rocked in the trackies and the hoodie, I reckon they'd not let me in. So we got to get in for the punters. Mounting Yard Mail today and Saturday. We were there sort of last Saturday, last Tuesday. It's been a bit of a battle. Hasn't been... a few of the races are shot pretty straight, but I think a lot of people just balls them up, a lot of them. So hopefully today it kind of swings about. There's been a bit of rain on this track as well, so looks a good day today, Oaks Day, and I think Stakes Day is really one of the highlight days of the punting program. At least it looks a few horses you can really get stuck into on Stakes Day for sure.
I'd say punters got the chocolates on Derby Day, Cup Day. You could have won or lost depending on how you read the races.
Signals Act, yep.
Tell you what, DK, you found Floating Artist. It was off the map, $20 into bugger all, and it somehow missed the slot.
Oh,
Metro Racing, hey?
Back them each way, they always run fourth. I mean, just that's number one. Second thing, he ran Incentivize and Spanish Mission, two of the best days in the world, to half a length and missed the place. I don't know how. Anyway, but look, great for T.O. rode him well. Kerrin was a bit of a pest up on his outside there, just with a light weight. Probably wouldn't have mind him got rolling probably 100 metres earlier. Would have been nice if he could peel 3 wide and build instead of having to wait for the Grand Promenade to drop off. But and Grand Promenade gave the other two the beautiful card up too. So just race shape and everything like that. And
it was interesting, the map, wasn't it? I thought Preble rode the horse as good as he could. It was a bit of a windy day on Tuesday, but I was surprised that he was that close in running and no one really...
Where was Twilight Payment?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Yeah, he was nowhere to be seen, was he?
Well, he's supposed to be leading at a good tempo and he's nowhere near him.
Yeah, look, he had every chance, incentivised in. He just bumped into a very, very good mare on the day, probably a champion now, as everyone racing Twitter's come to realise. She won 9 Group 1s before that.
Hello, Matty Taylor, Dream Team Matt. Here we go. It was nice to see that tweet pop up Tuesday night when he said that she's a good horse, but she's not a champion. Well, did he cop it?
It was a dominant win, wasn't it? It's as dominant win you've seen in a Melbourne Cup.
That was her. That's
600
her.
out.
That's her. That's the real result. I mean, it was a huge run last year. But everyone, I think, just had visions of her ending up in a similar spot and them running along and having to stand them up anyway. J-Mac, beautiful ride. Things panned out well, and she tailed them.
You were kind of saying on the preview show, the Cox Plate's a good lead-up for the Melbourne
great.
Cup.
It's
But
great.
we haven't
Always
seen
has
it
been.
that much recently. No. But you go back historically, it's been a very good lead-up.
and all that, you know. He tailed them coming out of a Cox Plate.
Fiorente, Green Moon, they're pretty recent.
It's a great lead-up. Bart Cummings used to use it a lot.
She started favourite there, and it was a perfect sort of hit-out for a 200 metre race, wasn't it? She got back, charged to the line. She was the fastest last 200 metres of that race. Yeah, she went around sort of 26-30 to 1. It's kind of hard to
ride.
Fathom
the
that,
ride.
really.
I think the ride was a great ride. I mean, the ride. I mean, it just shows the pilot's on top of it, and he's just riding inspired J-Mac, and he put in an absolute peach there, and he did things pan out well for him getting on the back, but he made that decision to get on the back of Craig, and one of the best horses carried him into the race. And I thought Floating Artist was beautiful. I was watching Floating Artist, and everyone said beautiful. He's T.O. well done, just follow Incentivise every step of the way. And I thought, this is beautiful. And then as soon as I thought, all right, here these two things just appeared on the outside, Spanish Mission and the winner. And I thought, oh no, don't tell me he's going to miss the place. No.
Yeah, watching it live, I was barely watching Very Elegant. I was watching Floating Artist.
I was watching Floating Artist.
Trying to lift him off the canvas.
Get into the place. Anyway. Patient died again, but made my annual donation. But it was, didn't say this when we did the preview, but it was great to do a cup where we knew all the runners, Nico. Like there's been this argy-bargy about lacking international numbers and how many should be in it. Like I've had nearly zero interest in the last few cups because they've had 12, 14 internationals. I've never heard of them, don't know them, couldn't give a stuff. But this year they were all pretty much local horses, and I know there's a long tail and all that sort of thing, but I don't know what they go forward, but I wouldn't want it to go back to unlimited internationals and all that anymore. And I'd say, Scoot, if there's probably more than 8 internationals next year, you might have to book someone else for the preview.
Oh, okay. Give yourself a little holiday, a little freshen up.
That's the line. So I reckon 8 or 10. What am I going to? I don't know.
You found the Big Short, no? You found the cave-in job, and I think it's just a bit of sour grapes that it's ran fourth. You'd be licking your lips if it was a place.
And he wouldn't have got in the race normally. He wouldn't have got in the race. Didn't have enough weight to get in the race, would he? So
scraped in.
He scraped in and run super. So.
But as you said, he should have had a picket fence leading into it, and I guess they'd probably try different preps or different. He probably would have run in the Geelong Cup if he had to qualify. There would have been a different approach from Kieran Maher, and you saw it with Hitotsu. He was going to make the race, so he didn't need to run him again, and Kieran Maher can get these horses fit enough to make that big leap from 1,600 to 2,500. And here's the bottle of rhubarb gin to prove it.
Oh, the rhubarb gin, yeah.
I think what you say there, DK, I just think there'll be a different setup and a different scenario if a horse like Floating Artist needs to get in the race. Trainers would adapt to get that horse in by the skin of his teeth. I think Kieran Maher is good enough to pull the levers to get that done, but
in the normal year, would have been again with those couple of train wrecks in the 2 runs beforehand. He would have missed out. He wouldn't needed to win one. Well, particularly the Moonee Valley Cup, But just the way it aligned, it's beautiful. He's got him with no weight and everything like that, and he's made the field and he's going to be up on speed. And when Teo put him on the back of Incentivised, geez, I thought, hello, here we go. So
it's like last year, Kieran McAvoy, there was a 10 out of 10 ride on Tiger Moth from the draw, and he got beat by a 20 out of 10. It's the same sort of scenario. Preble was a great ride, Teo was 10 out of 10, and J-Mac just produced a 20 out of 10 to win
And we've
the race.
seen it all through the Carnival, though. Yeah. Like some of those J-Mac and Ollie rides. I mean, Ollie's just, that's what you've got to do to win these races in the grand final days. You need a bit of luck, but you also need inspired rides. And that's you look at that blanket finish in the Cantala. It's just the bit of luck and the great rides. They all rode their horses really well. But it's grand final time, and you need to produce.
I was sitting up on the couch last night having a red wine and a Kit Kat, and I tell you what, I've needed. I've needed.
That's exactly what I had.
I needed a lot of red wine and a lot of gin to get over Tuesday.
Last night.
But I watched the Racing.com 2-minute video with Chris Waller with his aftermath and the catch-up interview, and I couldn't believe that Chris Waller was genuinely not going to run it. And as you say, had a strong international presence been there, all these well-weighted internationals, he probably doesn't run. And he was nearly not going to run. He's either the world's greatest actor, or he was genuinely thinking about...
That was in the back of my mind. When I heard him that, that's why I sided against her in my numbers, because and I'd say that stemmed from the flat run in the Turnbull, was it? And they were worried about her then. I said, what's happened here? That's very unlike her. And that was Flemington and whatnot. So then she ran well, but he with the weight, she had to break weight carrying records as a mare, and you can see probably why, I don't know, but he said the bloods are 1,000%, that's why he ran.
What about the filling in incentivised leg? Have you heard any inside track gossip about that, or is it just general swelling?
I would imagine he's had a tough run there. He's had a tough spring, hasn't he? He's sort of raced deep throughout the autumn, now into the spring. A lot of horses probably copped that at the end of their preparations, and saw a video of him this morning.
First thing this morning when I woke up, first thing I saw was Mood's video of him giving him a swim, and said, look, he's still a bit, he felt the run. He tried his guts out. He's going to the paddock as soon as the rain stops.
Full credit to the winner. It was a great win by her to carry 57 kilos, and last man to do that was Mackay Diva. But for him to carry 57 and get to where he has this spring and be
phenomenal
our second best stayer,
you saw the margins back to 5th. That's the other thing, Look at the margins. Floating Artist runs 4th, 6 lengths to 5th. Those 2nd, 3rd and 4th have all run terrific.
Yeah.
The Spanish Mission's got straight of various form. Incentivised is our best, one of our stars. And Floating Artist was the one we landed on as the improving one with no weight. They all ran super.
I think, although James McDonald, I think he's clearly our best jockey. He's shown that this spring. He's come down and absolutely dominated Melbourne. I reckon it's good for him to win a cup, because he's probably not going to get that many opportunities. He can't ride light.
No.
So that's probably the only opportunity he's going to get, those horses with the real class, top weights, and that's probably one of the only opportunities he's really going to get.
It's great to see his emotion after it. It was great to see.
He's a showman. He's always been a showman. He puts on an absolute show coming back to scale. But it's good for the sport.
And it's good. I mean, just again the sport. He's had his ups and downs. He like Ollie and the blokes who are suspended at the moment. We've all had troubles and things. I've in my time in racing. You ride. It's a game of ups and downs and peaks and troughs. And here he's back at the top. So good on him.
J-Mac back on as well. He had few different riders on this
Frosty
prep team.
Lane, absolutely.
Zaki this Saturday, J-Mac back on, so could be a bit
good
of a
rider
ride
change.
there.
We love a rider change.
It's in hindsight, it's just so simple. I spoke to Hutchie from Racing.com last night, and She finished so strongly in the Cox Plate, probably in the wrong part of the track, and it's just crazy. If you follow the SP profiles, we didn't tip against her on the show. A lot of us had her for second and third, but we couldn't really. We got blinded by the favourite a little bit.
But even the way they say, like the models are arguably a lot smarter than we are. It looked like there was going to be a way for her, and then they just threw her out at the end. Looked like she was going to run $16 hard, and then next thing she's $20 plus. And I think. Tristan was top odds late, trying to get her in, so tipping he might have had a good result on it.
It's a remarkable effort that Liam O'Keefe did with the track on Tuesday. It was absolutely prepped to the minute, and overnight it just didn't stop raining all afternoon at my place down near Caulfield, and it's come up a soft 6 as Juppy informs us in the YouTube chat. So if you want to fire in any questions, I'll try and keep my eye on the YouTube chat, and you can... put one around...
I'm a soft 7-iron. I live a soft 7-iron from Flemington, and it pissed down. But it pissed down. So what we have, 30, what did he say, 30-something inch? We had a bit over an inch, 30 mils. So, and for that track to turn up like it is, like we said, we pot it, not pot it, but sometimes people say, it dries too quick and it gets too firm. And whereas in a scenario like this is working out, this is why they got the drainage so good, because they're going to race on a nice surface today.
Yeah, well, coming into Tuesday, he had to smash it with water, like absolutely smash it with water.
He put 30 mils on it.
Yeah, so now he's just had the natural rainfall, so he's probably in a better position now than what he was, and the track's definitely going to dry out today.
Fence off, maybe? Scouting wide, rail out 5.
It hasn't been a disadvantage to be back to the fence. I'd probably say it's been an advantage.
Saving ground, saving ground in the big, has been an advantage.
Look, you'd love to see it. There's a few horses that are real good chances today, drawn out wide. We're going to need those wider swooping runs. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the rail, if it is a 6 to start, it kind of chops out a little bit and they might start to get off for sure.
All right, it's going to be a massive show. We've got the Assaulter from Malta back. He tipped on Thunderstruck. Mr. Brightside was his other best bet, so he got 1 out of 2 though. But as we said on the Melbourne Cup show,
I reckon it got beaten that far and missed the place, didn't it?
Who?
Mr. Brightside.
It was a huge run.
Did miss the place? Yeah, dead set. That's my go. Would have been on it each way. Got beaten that far, missed the place. There it is.
Beat.
We'll get Nico's best bet today, and we'll start sinking our teeth into the Stakes Day card on Saturday. But first, we're going to have a chat to one of our foes, but he's a friend of the show and a sponsor of the show, is Tristan Merlehan up at the Gold Coast, looking very relaxed. How are you, mate?
Yeah, g'day, Scoot. Yeah, a bit relaxed up here, a little bit quieter than Tuesday morning. So, it was a busy day Tuesday and, ready for a big day Oaks Day now. But, still getting everything set up and ready to go.
Nothing?
Still can't hear him. So, we might just fix the audio there and we'll go again. But we just can't hear him in here.
So if it's go live, nothing sure. I just lock it in.
Okay, Tristan, how you feeling, mate? You'll have to go from the top again.
I
got you now, mate. How are you? Yeah, got the sting out of the track and copped a hammering, but it's going to perform really, really well. But I guess the big question, how was the Cup result? Was Incentivised going to be an absolute bloodbath for you? And surely the drifting, Very Elegant, was an absolute fill-up. Come on, you can be honest.
Those exotics when when you're not sure what things are going to pay, and that was wasn't as nerve-wracking with the 4 favoured runners up there in the top 4.
I guess the shape of your book's dictated to the price of the favourite. Like, how often do you see a horse run around or you get to lay it in multis, I guess, at $2.40, and then out on the day it got to about $2.90 at TopSport I saw, and a little bit higher on the fair and things like that. But
and as a bookie, and I'm sure Tristan would have said, I mean, how many Maccabi Diva would have been the last one to run as short. She ran 5-2 or something. So here's a chance, you know. We've got a short favourite in a Melbourne Cup. Here's a chance.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, and he said he's our chance, and good on him for having a good result. He's obviously taken it on and got the chockies.
How would you say turnovers tracking on the Carnival year on year for you guys with COVID and I guess the coverage? How do you feel it's tracking?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think our turnover each of the days over the last little while has been up about 10 to 20% on each day. But the impressive thing from our point of view is the number of customers involved and the number of bets we've taken, which have both been double last year, which is a really good result from our point of view. It means a lot of extra customers are engaged. We're sort of starting to pick up a few more of the smaller $10, $20, $50 punters, which obviously from our point of view is something that's great. We're still going to maintain our real stance in the market of taking a big bet. So we'll always facilitate those pro punters and the bigger punters, but to be able to get a wider spread of business has been great. But in terms of the turnover, it's been 10 or 20% up, which I thought was going to be unlikely to achieve or hard to achieve after the COVID side of things last year. So, yeah, we're really wrapped with the results. We've obviously done a few things our customers would have understood. We've done a few things there that's, generating a bit of extra interest, which I think is a positive, and hopefully the last couple of days of the Carnival will repeat those sort of numbers.
If you're betting best of the best to win 100,000, you're having a fair swing there. So full credit to you guys for taking them on.
And just on that, on the Cup, Tristan, did you notice any difference in sort of with the lack of internationals? Is there sort of more interest, like you said, more bets, more singular bets, or something like that? Say with a field full of or half full of internationals, more so local horses, a bit more interest.
Yeah, well, we took, I think our turnover on the Cup itself was up about 20% or 30% on last year, but the number of bets were up huge. Like there was just so much interest. There were obviously two schools of thought. There were punters either wanting to be with the favourite or opposed, and they might have backed 3 or 4 in the race to take it on. So we were lucky with, I think most of the pro money was all over the favourite. We were laying that best of the best product. I reckon we took 5 50K bets, best of the best in the last half an hour before betting opened from your real hard and tough professionals. They sort of obviously saw the price of the horses as overs, and we actually had a rated odds on. Like I was sort of thinking it's going to be very hard to beat, but by the same token, in a Cup, when you got one that short, you've just got to put it in, and you've got to hope for a little bit of luck, and that's what happens. So it's sort of it's a different mentality, trying to think that way. But the biggest race of the year, you as a bookmaker, you just got to stick your favourite in and hope to get a result and catch it at the right price. As Scoot said, like we were lucky laying in a few multis earlier, so we put ourselves in a decent spot in that regard. But yeah, the number of tickets, number of turnover was huge. It's been the biggest Carnival in terms of interest I've seen, which is great to see. And yeah, hopefully it just continues to grow leaps and bounds.
know you own a couple of horses, you might have to send Mr. Waller a horse or a case of Penfolds for getting incentivised beat. The Smarts winning for the Carnival. Obviously, it was a good day for most of us guys in here on Saturday, but Cup Day, most of, as you sort of said, most guys I know absolutely launched head first into floating artist and incentivised. But are the Smart punters winning at this stage?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down Carnival. Like, Caulfield Cup Everest Day were really, well, that was a really bad day. Manikato Stakes was a really bad day. And then Derby Day, a lot of well-backed things won. We managed to sneak out and get a win there. But there's been some really big goes on horses. I've seen the sharper punters sort of change their mentality a little bit. Our bigger sort of sharper type punters changed their mentality a bit over the last year or so, where there's just been really big plunges from that 25 to 20 or 20 minute to 25 mark in each metro race now on the big races when our limits escalate. And I've seen some big goes like that Derby winner was one of the biggest goes I've seen for a long time. That was huge. And we laid that 2 or 3 times in that little window, and that caused the stark or steep short. And so keep an eye on that for all your punters out there in that little window, 20 to 25 minutes. I've just noticed that's been a shift in dynamic over the last year. There are, I think it's been sort of common to that trend. I think a lot of the smart punters have had good days on Derby Day, really good days on Everest and Caulfield Cup Day. And then, we got our nose in front on Melbourne Cup, and then probably Cox Plate Day, we had a slight lead as well. So it's been up and down. But I think they're holding their own, the winning punters, but it's just been a bit dictated by the day.
Mm. Yeah, Hitotsu was just off the map. $8 on the TopSport early bets, and I think he SP'd around the $4 quote. And Menage was another cave in, and as DK says, that those last favourites of the day, how big are they for you? Like at Adelaide or Sydney or Brizzy, and even Menage on Saturday. To get a favourite beat in the last race, what does it mean to you guys?
Oh, the last race of the day, like aside from the real features, obviously your feature on the day is the biggest race of the day. But then aside from that, the last race is just so pivotal. It's the one where it makes or breaks your day. You know, punters are either playing up their winnings or they're trying to get themselves out of a little bit of trouble. So our last result obviously dictates a lot, and there's been a few results that have lobbed our way, but a few horses been very much truckload in the last as well. Have lobbed earlier in the Carnival, so it's the second biggest race of the day, no doubt at all.
Might have to have a word to the Jake Nortons of the world to program your Ayrtons and all your good things as the last race.
The two, you know the difference in the, like, say, Fangirl winning the first was a big go, but compared to Minhaj, like it'd just be chalk and cheese in the book, and Tristan say that, like a first winner snow into a last winner snow in, it'd just be triple or 5 times the amount, you know.
What would you say the biggest or worst result is that had surprised people out there? Have you been stung by something that was a little bit peculiar? Has anyone pulled off a big raw? We spoke about Liam Howley last Friday night when he set one off, and then it was a massive go on Tuesday for his horse Station One. I couldn't believe it. I think some of the other corporates bet $67. At one stage, I saw $5. Has there been an out-wide sting apart from DK's packages on a day-to-day basis, Tristan? Is there any big cave-ins or sticky ones?
Yeah, there's been a few we've played a few rougher ones. I remember on Derby Day, actually, we got pinged on a couple of those early races, $15, $17, which were disappointing. I'm sort of struggling to remember the names, but the one that comes to mind that was our worst result, like you can sort of cop the Caulfield Cup winner, you can cop the Everest winner, they're right in the market, and if you do, you get belted on those, so be it. But the one that was our worst result of the Carnival was actually the Manikato Stakes winner. That was absolutely truckloaded, and it was truckloaded early. And then normally when it gets to that, you sort of get a little bit of respite late. They push a few of the other horses when it's probably over, moved over the top in terms of the move. But it just kept coming. I haven't had a result as bad as that for a long time. And we lost on literally every race on that card bar one. So it was a very sad and somber leave to the office on Friday night there at the Manikato. That was our worst way by a long way.
Beautiful. And what about the minimum bet laws? Obviously, we're rapt to have them. Have you noticed, has it been a good thing or a bad thing? And surely we can sustain this and the trial will just get extended, won't it?
Oh, you'd hope so. Like, I think it's a really positive outcome for everyone. Like, I think we've seen bigger moves and earlier in the piece, which, like, you only look at Yototsu, for example, like that move maybe last year, you see, it's $10 into $5.50 before the official Flux Open. Is it a real move or is it not? But you know now that it's genuine money, it's genuine activity. So it's great for the marketplace. I think it makes the market more efficient earlier. It gives us the ability to open our shoulders earlier as well on those big races. Like, we've been betting everyone to win 25,000 on the Group 1s from the moment we release our prices, because we know everywhere now the markets are very, very solid. So I think it's a great outcome. It just extends that trading window, which I think is so important from a punting point of view, from a bookmaking point of view, and it's got to have an impact on turnover. I haven't seen all the official figures, but surely it's creating a different dynamic. People are actually talking about these early moves now, which is so vital, and it just keeps the sport in the spotlight for longer periods other than just race day.
Spot on.
It's been the most important thing to happen to my own stuff, and me as a sole trader for the last 5 years, probably, Nico. I don't know about you, but
it's just big. Yeah,
it's been big to be able to like a horse and then be able to tip it to the subs as well, and they can get on. I know you're bluing about New South Wales still haven't followed, and a few other states are still yet to follow. I was going to have a bet, maybe one of the ones the other day, and tried to have a bet somewhere and couldn't get on. I said, gee, that's felt weird because we're able to get on with Tristan and everyone on early now, Nico.
But like Tristan said, the early money can mean something now. You can see it that maybe a tipping crew stepped in there or someone really likes this thing. It's not just
a legitimate
some bloke
go.
having $50 on it and it's just straight off.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's been a big plus. Today might be a good day for Tristan. It looks a bit of a bookie's day. I think Saturday, that's going to be a tallying point in the Carnival. A lot of short price favourites. Nature Strip, Zaki. Maltese will be a plenty there. So they could have to have a little lead into that because I think they'll need it. But they do There I see, they let you off with the last race. That is the hardest race of the entire carnival. There's form lines from everywhere. Last race of the carnival, everyone's looking for a get out. It's bloody
Well, there you
7
go.
races.
It
There
is
you
that
go.
race, though. It always
There you
is.
go. Giving Tristan the heads up. Tell the boys, open the shoulders in the last.
Big move here in the Oaks today. I think you guys are betting to win 25,000 best of the best, and Willowy has been 420 into 320 this morning,
Has it?
which is a monster go.
That was this morning. I looked this morning. They were 3-1 each, all equal favourites.
Yeah,
Weren't
420 into 320 in the last sort
Okay,
of
well,
45 minutes.
they? Yeah.
Someone's pulled the
that
trigger.
one's seen a huge go. Willowy, we laid it just before I came on here. As I said, we're betting 25k best of the best, but we're betting 25k fixed odds as well from now. So it's been hit to the limit 3 times already since the scratchings have come out. So it's been a massive go, and I think as you said. Boys, like the move means something. Like it's not as though it's it's a $500,000 bet setting it off. Like we've taken 3 10k stake bets on that runner in the last sort of half an hour from Sharp Crew. So it's obviously getting to its right price. It seems like that's going to be the one. It'll be interesting where the best of the best money sits now. But it's a good race. There's a few chances in it. There was a little bit of a push for a few of the rougher runners early, but now it looks like they've all got their heart set on Willowy.
Interesting. That's it's smarts waiting for the scratchings there, and then finalising their prices.
Yep.
And then saying hello. So they're not betting yesterday. They've got to wait for scratchings. Very, very disciplined and everything like that.
They wanted to see the rain, obviously.
Yeah.
She's performed well on heavy tracks before.
Put the track rating in.
That's a
all
big thing.
So that'd be telling money, I'd say.
Definitely look the one. All right, I think that's any more questions for...
No, it's been good. We've got a good spiel of Tristan. Good luck in the next couple of days, but not too much. The punters on the right side of the ledger.
Outstanding.
Thanks for that, guys. Good to have you on, and we'll speak to you soon, no doubt.
Can't wait. All right, good luck, Tristan, and hopefully, as DK says, the punters can claw back on top from Cup Day, and we can go up 2-1 and make it a 3-1 victory for the 4 days of the Cup Carnival. Jason Azzopardi joins us next, so make sure you just check out that best of the best product with TopSport. So if you can't wait and fish around for the prices, you can just bet off their flux, and you get the tote guarantee. So it's a nice bet and forget type product there at topsport.com.au. They're our major sponsor. They take big bets. They're legit. So if you're getting limititis, you can get your account and get your bets set with topsport.com.au. Jace, welcome to the show.
Boys, good to be here.
There he is.
Mate,
Okay.
tell you what, you must be just a spring in your step. I'm thunderstruck. It was never in doubt. It was a pretty easy watch. He just roared over the top of Count DeRupia, who was gallant. We touched upon it on Sunday's show. And Mr. Brightside, he ran the race of his life. A little bit stiff there, but no.
I was in the
nothing
leather
more said.
undies listening to Aka Daka, but I couldn't get the killers on with the same enthusiasm after it. But anyway, it's a great handicap race. It was a length between the first 4 and, close, but worthy winner, Superstorm, good handicapper and a top horse.
Been a few races between then and now. Assaulter, how you been handled Cup Day? And
Handled Cup Day, well, Kyneton Cup, are we talking about DK?
Oh, how's that? Froggy up the fence.
Oh, yeah. That was
Kyneton Cup
fantastic.
was a fill-up yesterday. Because it was just rails in run all day. You could not win off the fence except Brazen Brando. And money kept coming for the wrong horses and just kept backing things on the rail.
But you had to see that because Kyneton, mate, the rail is, when it's wet, is never any good.
We
never.
know.
They always come down the middle. George Bourne and Yendel are saying after they won race 2, well, that'll be it. Inside puddles are going to fill up with water. You've got to come down the middle, and all of a sudden you couldn't be you had to be on the fence.
I heard that Yendel interview and I went, okay, I'm gonna have to adjust here, but it just stayed. So back Indiana Lily, I was watching Froggy trying to see, and I was yelling at him to just go the rail and you win, and she's
amazing.
Flying that mare, absolutely flying.
It was amazing footage to see. Did you watch his
I
interview
did,
with Warren Hartley? Because he come back just covered in the whole shooting match. He had 3 pairs of goggles on, then they showed the replay of him wiping his goggles, pulling them down,
And then flicking them off.
Then you said, I just railed through and just hoped that W
Couldn't see anything.
Couldn't see.
But in all honesty, a lot of jockeys
frog.
would have stopped riding. Thank God we had a Tasmanian on her.
They did well. They did well to get through, and that track held up really well. Anyway, but get on to...
They even tried to get through the last.
They tried to get through the last.
We're going out.
They sent them out.
The mounting yard was flooded.
Anyway.
Cup Day left me pretty numb, I must say. I'm a huge, very elegant fan, and have a few debates on Twitter around, she's a champion. She's an out-and-out one, and I don't think there's any debate anymore. But I saw the $28 on Betfair about 5 minutes before the race, and I put 100 on her just to chop out. And I'm like, why didn't I just keep pressing? So I felt like I cheated on my missus in a way, not backing up.
Like everyone, after she's bolted, and you're saying, you're more attached to it.
There's a lot of people feeling like me. But look, I managed to break square on the day, which I was really happy with, because I thought it was a tough day to win. And but yeah, anyway, we press on through the marathon. Thank God for Titan.
Sometimes you just need to learn a lesson. You can get ahead of yourself and you have a big fill-up derby day, and then sometimes you just need a bit of a kick in the nuts to get yourself back down off your cloud, because the punt's just never that.
That was race 2 for me. Race 1, I found the Quinella, and I thought this is going to be the easiest day ever. They cleared out. Thought we are on here. This is going to be a big one, and then I didn't find a winner for the rest of the day.
No, that's me. You say occasional kick in the nuts. I give myself regular kick in the nuts, because it is. It's like I'll have a good weekend on the Monday, then you'll just go. You might have a bet that it's 50-50. You might push the envelope a bit, and then all of a sudden you have a strip out. And what have I done here? Kick yourself, pull up. Don't get ahead of yourself.
There's be punters out there, complete uppercut, not backing very elegant. Like Jay said,
not alone.
She's got to 30s. I'm like the second favourite, and I've barely got a result out of it.
A great game.
You never stop learning. Now, Jace, you're a bit of a tape watcher, and I've just pulled one from the vault here, and I just want to know, when did you transition from a mad fan to a mad punter? This is from 2012. Medal Benders, George Ryder win. Who's this absolute pest in the background of CJ Waller? Who's this bloke?
The famous mint bet, Casey McCutcheon. I was on the phone to him before this, and I said, dead set. I was on rekindled interest this day at 33-1, launched on it. Medal Bender, first, never ran another race. It was first up after 18 months off, never raced again, and it beat me in a photo. And, of course, Waller's, that's when the crying started back then, when Medal Bender won. And I was on the phone to a good friend, Casey McCutcheon from Mintbet, my very, very close mate, and got on the phone. I said, I'm going to bomb Waller here on TV. Just watch it.
While he's bored.
So, and he's recorded it, never, ever, ever let me live it down.
It was a matter of time before we played on the show, wasn't it?
Thanks for that. I knew something was coming today, but I didn't know what. Casey wanted to be nimble.
Very good. All right. It's a soft 6 out at Flemington today, and let's try and find you guys a winner. Assault's first bet comes up in race 7, the Melbourne Cup Carnival Country Final over 1,600 metres, odds courtesy of TopSport, and it's Right and Rose, $4.20 favourite, in from $5. Bermudez $6.50, Real Sensation, one of DK's horses. Is that right? That fluctuation, 18 into $8. Hickok, $10. My Boy Birmingham, $10. A low broadcast, $11. Legend of Zorro, $15, and Typhoon Harmony, $16. Court Deep, $17, and $20 or better. The rest. We're going to have a look at the last start replay of Real Sensation, your horse here from Horsham.
Yep.
Talk us through it, Salter.
This race is like the provincial championship for Melbourne. It's just a fantastic race. A lot of heats, a lot of good horses culminating in the final today, and Real Sensation, the Oliver colours on the fence. And you can see it go sideways there with the right blinker and hook out about 7 wide, and it's on the back of the fave here, and she's a fave today, Right and Rose, an unbeaten Moody horse. Unbeaten Moody horse is good and gets to the line really well here first up. This horse is a top class horse in my opinion. He's got huge ability. Won a maiden at Stall from memory.
We remember it well, mate. We remember it well. Remember I tipped it that day.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
It was a buck 40 at SP. Well done,
we
DK.
took no. We tipped it at Black Figures or something.
Oh, did you? That's good. Yeah. Good tipping. Then it went to Moonee Valley on All-Star Mole Day.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, what about that?
Day that was just a bog. It was last. Flew home, got beat a lip. Then it's gone to Flemington. Huge run, 1 over 1400. Gave Rathlin weight that day. In one of Right and Rose's races, it also has formed through Rathlin, so I can measure it up through the fave. And on its last start at Horsham, which is pretty unsuitable distance for a back marker, it showed first up that it's after a 5-month layoff that this horse is back. TopSport, God bless them, they went up $18 this horse, and they let you on for a boost still, which is amazing. So I got $21 this horse. Still $9 around. It's still a good each way bet, I think. Look, there's a lot of promising horses in this race. My Boy Birmingham, real sensation. Ryan and Rose the fave, but it's drawn the outside gate Nolan. So you're going to need a lot of luck, but I think she can still win. Heathcote down the bottom. 2 starts back beat Flying Mascot, who went and pissed in on Cox Blake Day. And behind that was Vitruvius, who got and won well on Geelong Cup Day. She ran second behind Bermudez last start. That was Dynamite leaders at Sale. So there's a lot of speed. I'm banking on a lot of speed. This horse is going to be back at Flemington. We need speed on. Want Billy Egan coming in the middle of the track, which I think today will be the better part of the track by race 7. I think the inside's going to chop out. We know handles are wet after All-Star Mile Day. And if the pace is on, this horse will be flying home. And I think is a great each-way bet in a very, very competitive race and a great addition to Oaks Day, this race. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with that. I've been watching the heats, and you can say something. As they said, it was a heated horse. It was a $100,000 race. It's a proper race. The first 2 over the line get automatic entry. So that was Ride and Rose and Real Sensation. And I think Real Sensation, very good chance to turn the tables on Ride and Rose off that race, particularly back to Flemington. I mean, that's a small, short straight, and Real Sensation, much better suited at the big straight. And I think they're like my boy Birmingham's got a roll, doesn't he? He's a roll on speed. Bermudez will be up on speed.
There's good speed here.
Yeah, so I think there'll be enough speed to get in a good rhythm and finish off. And he's just I found him very, very early doors. That Real Sensation.
Yeah, look,
he's a nice horse.
The thing is with this race is all the top trainers are in it, and Luke Oliver, doesn't train a lot of winners. But he, this would be his marquee horse. Billy Egan's going okay. Look, as I said, it's a super competitive race, but even at today's price, the thing is at Horsham, it's a short straight. He was making ground on the turn there, on a tight turn. It's very hard to do. To DK's point, plenty of time to balance up here, and just get into his stride. A good 450 metre straight at Flemington, and if he's flying down the middle, you'll hear me cheering wherever you are.
Tell you what, this Hello broadcast, this Irish horse is an interesting runner. It comes through a $100,000 race there at Cranbourne.
Same.
And I tell you what, some owners here. You got C. Hutchison, you got Jace Tan, D. Flindell, Dan Malecki, Matt Hill. And,
Hello Broadcast.
Hello
Broadcast.
Know much about this one?
Oh, I knew it had a long time off, didn't it? And then it ran really well at Cranbourne.
It was really well backed first up at Cranbourne, started favourite, and then didn't do much. Last start he was better, got back and hit the line real strong. I think he would have been right in play if he had drew a gate. He's probably going to have to be back with Right and Rose and Real Sensation. Of what we've seen, they may have the better of him. It looks like they got the stronger form lines. Like he's coming through a 64, whereas the race they came through was a 70, and probably a stronger race. So, look, he's in the game, but you would much rather he drew a gate for sure.
All right, so
looks a setup though. Looks a complete setup job, like a few of these. But
they're all set for it. It's a grand final, so it's a great race.
All right, it's a question from the YouTube chat. So if you're in YouTube chat, we're watching the show live, fire in any runner, and we can just throw a curveball to the guys who've done the form in here. All right, let's have a look at the Kennedy Oaks today, the feature on the card. And as we said earlier, it's been Willowy who's been heavily backed. Even this morning, 420 into 320 from a high of 480. Elusive Express is 480 out from 370. Daisies is $5. Biscayne Bay $6. Glint of Hope $8. And then Deucer at $18. Morissette $21. And you can get much, much better the rest. We'll have a look at the last start win of Willowy here, flying down the outside in the Godolphin Blue. Easy watch for you, Nico.
Wasn't on this day, but I'm on for this race. So hopefully she can get the cash in the Oaks. And I think I'm on at $26 or something. So
hey, really?
Patient hopefully survives.
Great bet. I think, my analysis of this race is, there's a lot of, form lines all tying in together, and you have to try and work your way through it. So the narrative I'm taking on this race is, firstly, the Wakeful is no doubt the key lead up for this race. In the last 8 winners, 4 of them have won the Wakeful, and the Wakeful winners also run a second, third, and fourth, and one hasn't run. So it's on history, it's going to perform. The thing that worries me about Elusive Express, and when markets first came out, I went bang on Elusive Express. But now I'm actually wavering, because if you actually look at that 1,000 Guineas form, sort of yearning beat Elusive Express. Forbidden Love was unlucky in that race. But Willowy went past Yearning like it was standing still there on Saturday. Forbidden Love didn't do anything out of the 1,000 guineas. There hasn't been a lot of form out of that 1,000 guineas. So the narrative I'm taking, right or wrong, even though the wet's going to suit, and I believe the trip's going to suit Elusive Express, is that I'm penning the 1,000 guineas form. I want to be with Willowy. I think Daisy's absolutely PR'd in the Wakeful, and there's been a lot of talk that the track was amazing. For me, there was no doubt that the fence was an advantage, especially early on Saturday. So I don't believe the narrative I'm taking is that Daisy's can't turn the tables on Willowy based on that. It was just behind leader on fence, got out. So for me, can't beat Willowy. The other two winners that have not come through the Wakeful in the last 8 years are Jamaica and Set Square, both Kieran horses. He went through the Vase and the Ethereal with both of those horses. Admittedly, they both won them, Jamaica and Set Square. Biscayne Bay here is the other one that interests me.
Let's have a look at her replay. Let's
look
get
at that. He was running that Ethereal race where there was no speed. Daisies went around him, and it's in the Australian bloodstock colours here. And nothing really rang on. I mean, Glinta Hope did, and yeah, she's a chance. But if you just watch the last 100 metres here of Biscayne Bay and the Australian bloodstock colours, I really like the way it finishes off here. If you watch that last 100, it just, to me, eats up that ground. It's going to run 2,500 on that. Blinkers go on today. Bowman goes on. Two big switches. So I'm going to say Willowy top pick. I'm surprised that it's that short, $3.20 this morning. When I looked, it was $4.20. There's a bit of $3.80 around, but TopSport must have got hammered on it. And I'm going to back Willowy. I'm going to save on Biscayne Bay. And an absolute roughie was the horse that ran next to Biscayne Bay and that Ethereal Morissette. But that's a narrative I'm taking. All these form lines, are tying together. Nash on Glinta Hope could get her home if you want to back a maiden in a Group 1. So that's a narrative I'm taking. I think tough race.
I think I'd probably agree with your analysis there. Willowy just looks like an absolute line finder, and I'd like the last bit of work from Biscayne Bay. DK?
Yeah, couldn't. Yeah, that was nearly my thoughts as well. I saw Willowy. When did I say to you, Nico? Geez, she'd be hard up, and you said she was $4 something. I said, there's your Oaks winner, because she ran past Daisies there, and I'd say Elusive Express when I saw it equal favourite, and I know it's doing the jumping distance. It ain't no high Totsu, that horse. Like it's going 16 to 25, and it's not Kieran Maher, and it's not high Totsu. So I would have thought there'd be some query about it doing that jumping distance. So yeah, and then there's those couple of staying ones that Dead Set Stay the Trip, Glint of Hope and Biscayne Bay, coming sort of out of the different forms. So look, a bit of a tricky race, but the other thing is that Willowy's getting deep in her first prep, but the further she's going, the more she's stepping up, which you've got a good handle on her, Nico, because you've had something on her.
Yeah, I thought sort of from the yard, out of the Wakeful as well, she kind of looked like the one that would really be suited out and trip, like the real sort of staying type of a lot of these. Daisy still does a lot wrong in the mounting yard and could exert sort of too much energy in that, and so she's going to have to obviously have a bit in reserve to run 2,500 metres, so I think that's probably a negative for her. I think it's a pretty even Oaks though. Like Willowy, I think is getting short enough at 320. Like the problem for Willowy is probably the map. If she can't find a position early, like she did in the Wakeful, like she was off the bit 600 metres out in the Wakeful. If she's off the bit 600 metres out and has nowhere to go, like she's going to need momentum. And is she going to get that from barrier number 2? You got the right man aboard. I think he's won 5 Oaks, Ollie. But yeah, it's not like she's a complete moral or anything like that. But look, I think she's probably the one to beat. I thought it was even. I think Glint of Hope was a big run in the Ethereal. She gets barrier 1 here, gets Nash. It's the right camp to sort of get up and trip. She's always looked like a real staying filly.
She does, yeah.
Wet track's going to suit her on type. I don't think Black Comb's out of the game. I reckon if you give that Vase run, where she was probably ridden a bit warm, the run prior in the Hill Smith, she was very unlucky, and then she probably should have gone very close to beating Barbrader in the Oaks trial, which ties in very well to a lot of these form lines. She has been the standout pick of all these fillies in the yard since day one. Black Comb, this has been the race they've set her for. Maybe the writing was on the wall last start. I'm probably more inclined to forgive than 30s. I think she's a big price. Morissette's going to stay all day. The key to this race might be Fabiola. She won a Benalla Maiden last start, which you're probably more across than me, DK, but she's a pretty fierce going sort of filly, isn't she? She does a bit wrong. If Froggy sort of lets her go and can break this field up, that's what Ollie will want and Willoway. He won't want to slow run Oaks.
No.
He'll want to bring out the best stayer, have a chance to get off the fence, not have to sit and sprint, allow it a bit of momentum. And Fabiola gets out and running out in front, 100 to 1 chance. That's his best chance to do that.
I'm just looking at my futures tickets, and
Yes.
I had a decent size spend on Black Comb at $14. So
$14.
I might have to average up.
There's no future in futures. These blokes will disagree with that. But anyway.
You can get lucky every now and then. Outstanding stuff, Jace. Sensational analysis. And I can't promise that I'm not going to pull that footage out or create a GIF out of it. I think that needs to be shared far and wide.
Oh, that's probably not the worst one that's going around, so I'll cop that.
Oh, good. We got some more to find. We'll have to get on
I'll
mid
do
bet.
digging.
He'll have them stashed away somewhere.
Okay, race 7, real sensation. And then in the Oaks is Willowy and a saver maybe on Biscayne Bay. Thanks, Jace. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. Thank you, guys.
On you,
Appreciate it.
Jace.
All right, puntingform.com.au is the database that I use. It's been a game changer and a life changer for me. I found it about 4 or 5 years ago, and it blew my mind, the sectional time database that lives in the cloud, and that's where I black book all my horses and put my notes. So if I see a flashing light run, I can confirm the benchmark and sectional splits, and then I make some notes accordingly. And I know that DK and Nico are all over this as well. So it's $2.97 a month. So if you want to step your game up and do the form properly, it's puntingform.com.au. Check out. Let's go straight through. We haven't got anyone else to link up here. We'll have a look at race 6 here, and we might find one of Nico's bets today. Today, the GH Mumm Century Stakes over 1,000 metres. And the top of the market here is Malkovich. It's been absolutely hammered, $3 into $2.45. I'm not on yet, so I'm kicking myself here. Written Beauty for $60, Starry Legend $6, Varda $8.50, Parsifal. Friend of the show, Matty Barker's got one of the share in that horse, $14, $19 Prezado, Calcani Royale $21, and much better. The rest of the replay we're going to have a look at here is Malkovich in white.
Yep, absolute moral here, punters. Don't grey up. 2.45, he'll just win. Comes out of the Grouse Caulfield Sprint. Market's been all over this race. Oxley Road started favourite. Curran started favourite. Probably neither ran up to their best, but I think Malkovich will be improved from this second up. D-Lane drops a whip there at a crucial stage. Has to ride hands and heels. McDougall just gets the better of him late. Actually gives him a bit of a bump late as well. So this is a much weaker race. As I said, Oxley Road started clear favourite in the Lithgow sort of on Derby Day. Looking through this field, like Starry Legend's probably his danger. I think Malkovich probably stalks him. I don't know whether Starry Legend's seasoned enough to sort of go with a 1,000-metre speed star like Malkovich and be sort of good enough to beat him yet in his career. I think he's got talent. He's just got to learn a few things. Like Written Beauty, dead set. She's that hard to catch. She is new stable. Chris Waller did jump out well down the straight, but she's never been a 1,000-metre horse. She's always been better over further and brings in this weird sort of mare's form. I think the market's predicting she's got to improve, and I think they're predicting she's got to improve too much. Malkovich is completely set for the race. He's a 1,000-metre horse. He's going to be either second or first. Going to get in the right spot from barrier number 3. D-Lane aboard. I was happy to take anything over even money. I think you could mark this horse hard into the red. It looks a one-horse race to my eye. I think he's probably the better of the Carnival. Like, he's short, but if you're looking to play multis or anything like that, or you need a bit of a bank builder for the rest of the day, he is it.
The SF has dominated down the straight so far this Carnival, hasn't it? I mean, the Sydney, and even the one that got beat, was it April Rain? Probably should have won. Should have beaten Rich Hips. Was that down the straight? I think it was. So that's dominant. Now, and the other thing, importantly, Nico, we know you'd never heard of The Sopranos and never heard of WWE and Hulk Hogan and all that. You do know who Malkovich is, don't you? You know John Malkovich.
Being John Malkovich, the movie?
Or in Con Air, Cyrus the Virus.
Yeah.
You know John Malkovich.
No.
Go and watch the movie Con Air. You can come back. He's a famous actor, Nico. There you go. So we're educating Nico week by week
Culturally.
here. Just cultural, mate. Introducing him to all these things. John Malkovich.
What's the movie about?
Con Air, mate. It's about these prisoners who
Yeah.
they're travelling on take over a
plane.
plane. They're supposed to be taken from one prison to another prison.
And they hijacked the plane?
They hijacked them. Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
I
the
just
main
didn't know
baddie,
name.
and that's John Malkovich. But he's got plenty of other stuff as well.
There's not many Nicolas Cage videos.
Watchable that are watchable.
Yeah, there's not many of them.
That's one of them. That's
a few people in the chat group are asking what the gin is. It's a Warner's gin. It's a rhubarb gin. And how did you hear about it, DK? Just in front of your camera there.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about this? The
There it is,
rhubarb
the
gin.
rhubarb gin, which is, what does it say on the front of the bottle? It says a third of this bottle is rhubarb, pure rhubarb juice.
Juice.
No, just
Who tipped it to you?
One of the dads in our little Avondale Heights Cricket Club under 10s crew said to me, I said, "What are you drinking this summer?" He said, "I found this rhubarb gin." He said, "It's hard to find, and he loves a beer and loves a like he's not an out wide pick." And I said, "I love rhubarb. Like as I said on the show the other week, if you see rhubarb crumble and ice cream on a menu anywhere, it's just absolute lock, along with the loaded affogato." But so we're right into the gin. I mean, Scoot introduced me to the 4 pillars, and I just drink it by the bottle load at the moment. The 4 pillars, love it. So thought I'll give this a try because I love a bit of rhubarb. So we'll let you know how it goes. I'll bust it open on the weekend.
And yeah, I lost. I had Allegra on head-to-head with DK on her Totsu, and I just had a head-to-head. I didn't. There was no kickers or no handicap start there, and I thought Allegra was going to beat him home, and got it wrong. So I did my ass there, and the rhubarb gin goes to DK. I had some Roku gin.
Yeah, the Roku.
I had Roku gin on Tuesday night. And I tell you what, after 3 of those, between sort of 5 and sort of 6:30, I was pretty numb out of the incentivised loss. So I was back. So I think it's a good soother, the gin.
It is, yeah. No, it's been a good find for me, so thank you for that, Sue. The 4 pillars. When you said go get 2 bottles of 4 pillars that night, I thought the bottles are red. He said, no, it's gin. I said, oh, beauty. He said, get tonic and all those. Well,
yeah, the Shiraz gin.
The Shiraz gin, but I thought you were telling me to get bottles of red. I'd never heard of 4 pillars. And then, it's grouse. Anyway, but let's give the rhubarb gin a go. But there's plenty of good drink. Benny Cray, and there's a lot of people love the gin. It's big at the moment, the gin, so if you haven't tried it, get onto it. Nico, you into the gin?
Nah, not into the gin.
Juppy loves it. He gets the gin sads though. He gets the gin sads if he has. Got to be careful. It can be a depressant for some people, so got to be careful of the gin sads if you have 20 of them. But anyway.
Yeah, Juppy's just chimed into the chat group too, and he said, "Go watch Rounders." That's the Matt Damon poker movie. Pay him his money. He plays the Russian in Rounders.
John Malkovich.
Yeah, it's have you seen Rounders?
No, I haven't.
Oh, mate, it's one of the best gambling movies going around.
Well, speaking of Rounders, and another one for everyone to find, Owning Mahoney. Find it. They mate, mad bloke who's goes nuts in Vegas. He's a banker or something like that, and grabs all the bank's money and goes to Vegas, and mate, it's fantastic. Philip Seymour Hoffman. There we go. But just the way, it's great. He gets the real punter's head on him, and Owning Mahoney's another great gambling movie.
Brett in the chat said Big John Malkovich played Secretariat's trainer in the Disney film, so that's probably more
racing angle
where I know him from.
There you go. So there you go, Nico. You'll find him. He's good, John Malkovich. Love him.
Uncut Gems is another
Uncut
new
Gems.
one.
Yeah, that was the Adam Sandler one.
Adam Sandler one. He's about diamond trader.
That's full on, that movie. That's full
Kevin
on.
Garnett's in it,
isn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
full on.
very good.
Edge of your seat the whole time.
Yeah.
Different Adam Sandler to the one that Shooter McGavin keeps saying, how do I lose? I did this bloke by 4 shots wearing around his sneakers and everything. You see him in that movie as a hardcore gem dealer.
Yeah, it's outstanding. All right, let's kick forward to Stakes Day, and we'll get Nico's best on Stakes Day, and we'll head to race 3 at Flemington, the pin and win, benchmark 80 over 2,000 metres, and Alcyone is a favourite here, 3.10 into 260. Vitruvius is 4.20. Tai Chi Goddess is 8.50. Lunatic Fringe $10. Mr. Cancun $12. Hasseltoff is 16, and Johan Doe 26. So we're going to have a look at the replay of Alcyone, the favourite. J Cummings, H Bowman.
Yeah, there's been a scratching here, so he was sort of 320 last night, now 260, but probably his key danger's come out of the race, which helps. He should have won this day, no doubt about that. Preble outrode Ollie, took off on Durston, he hits the front here. Alcyone kind of caught napping, hits the line the fastest last 200 metres of this race, and definitely should have won. Looking at this race, I think Durston's going to be prominent in any race he runs in next, maybe the Ballarat Cup or something like that. Mancane's back to defence, he runs second in the Lexus. This is just good form. This horse is absolutely flying. He started $5 against Mr. Brightside the start before, and probably should have gone a lot closer to beating that horse. And the run prior, he beat Excelita, who come out and run second. So the form around him is absolutely grouse. Stays at 2,000 metres here. Don't know if Ollie got dragged, but Huey goes on here, so he's a good rider of 2,000 metre horses. Good gate for Huey, keep him balanced, work into the race. The map looks ideal. The only danger in the race now is Vitruvius, who's right down the bottom of the weights. Draws 15.
Wish he drew a gate.
He's going to have to go right back. That was probably why I was taking him on. I think he's got talent, this horse. I do think he's probably still a prep or 2 away before we really see the best of him. He's
flying. The horse is absolutely airborne.
Yeah.
The one horse in that camp that is flying.
Yeah, they're not going too well at the moment.
Tell me about it. Tell me, clacker on them. lately.
But he had a few favours at Geelong. He got up the fence and didn't have to do the work he's probably going to have to do here, unless Preble can produce a similar sort of ride and get all the breaks, which usually doesn't happen at Flemington on a big day. Alcyone, like I said, the other sort of horse in the race, Shillaby, came out, so sort of 15% deductions there, or 15 cent deductions, I should say, but 260, he looks very hard to beat, probably in a 2-horse race, gets the map advantage, so another one for your multis and that, and he may drift, you may get a little bit better, but I think 260 is probably right price now.
All right, there's Nico's best on stakes day to open things up. Let's have a quick look at the odds, and we'll have a quick chat about a couple of races here. Race 6 is the Darley Sprint Classic. Nature Strip $1.30, Bella Nipotina 11, Ranch Hand 14, September Run 16, $19 Splintex, Shakiro 21, Swats that 26, Streets of Avalon 34, and Samizdat $91. Hard to see Nature Strip getting beaten here. It seems like a weird one. This race might need a bit of a shake-up or reprogramming. It's $1.2 million barrier trial for Nature Strip by the look of it, and I think Chris Waller's the only one that's sort of jerried and thrown a couple of 3-year-olds and back them up. Ranch Hand and Shakira. I was surprised that we didn't see a couple of other horses. I think it's strong prize money, 380,000 or 180 for us, and second and third prize money. So there's massive prize money if your horse can run a place here.
Yeah, there is. It's a disappointing race, isn't it? I think they've missed a trick with Masked Crusader, running him in the Classic Legend or the Winner Stakes, whatever they call it, up there in Sydney at Rose Hill. Like, all of his worst forms pretty much at Rose Hill. So you would have thought he was crying out to get down the straight. I was probably going to back him to beat Nature Strip down the straight, just with the potential he could sit a bit closer to him, but he's not here. Nature Strip, what do you say? You probably just win. I don't know if you want to be
at least he's here. I mean, it's
yeah.
good he's here. It's because we've got a flagship horse for the race.
It's just so disappointing. Like, you look at this race last year when Bivouac beat him, and that was one of the races of the spring. Like, when they were going head-to-head, the market was, really vibrant there. There was a lot of people in, Nature Strip's camp, Bivouac's camp, and Bivouac, one of the best spring performance I've seen down the straight, absolutely owned him. So, having that race last year compared to this, where it's just going to be an absolute one goal, and Nature Strip's probably going to win by 5, and the stragglers get in for second and third. It's a bit of a disappointment.
It's just nothing for wagering. It's just one for just a spectacle to see a good horse come to the Carnival and towel them up down the straight. But it's just, we spoke about it last week, what an attack on the race it is, that Classic Legends, just an act of bastardry. So, Massara, just add that to the list of sort out, please.
Yeah, the Manicato and that race, they're just in tatters at the moment. Another funny one from our man Juppy. The last time he drank 4 pillars, he pissed himself and rolled in chook shit at Paul Pushka's joint. Juppster.
That's it. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, you get hammer the gin, Juppy. There we go.
Oh, God. All right. Race 8's an interesting one. It's the Mackinnon Stakes, and Zaki tops the market here. Wow, it's balls of steel stuff here. $2.35 Zaki, Colette $5.50, Moanga $8, Hungry Heart $10, Private Eye $11, Cascadian $12, Superstorm $12, Homesman $26, Dalasan $34, and $41 Kai Nautique. You'd be a really brave man to take the short Zaki, and I backed Colette last time, and I don't like the. I think she'll drift from $5.50 there. Moanga appeals for me at $8, and Superstorm, I can see him being strong. Again, he's got that 3-length loss to Very Elegant. I think it was in the Turnbull, so the $12 appeals to me there. But any thoughts after hearing that market?
Well, it's just similar as what Tristan said in a similar aspect to the Cup. There's either you're in the favourites corner or you want to back a couple to beat it. So, look, there's alternatives there, and the ball hasn't been great with the favourite, as we know. But, the trainer wouldn't run him unless he's 100% and gets J-Mac back on. But I think with the rain around and, there's alternatives there with Colette, Hungry Heart and Superstorm. I thought I haven't done the race in depth, but from when I had a quick look, what do you, Nico? Did you have a look?
Even Hungry Heart was hitting the line.
Yeah, I like Hungry Heart back out to 2,000 too.
2,000 metres.
Still, that's Empire Rose Mare's form.
That's right, and she only won her own age fillies race,
This horse is probably... He was laying claims to being our best horse before he got beat last start in the Caulfield Stakes on a firm track at Caulfield in a 5-horse field where he was probably the run of that race where everything went wrong for him compared to the other runners in the race where probably everything went right. Misses the Cox Plate because of an elevated temperature. It's not like he was lame or anything like that. He's just had a bit of a cold there or something, and he's got a bit of a fever, and now he's back. They're easy to sort of treat those things. Some antibiotics, just like humans, you'd knock that on the head straight away. He's had 2 weeks since that. I think the gap between the runs is probably going to do him good. I reckon he definitely would have felt that the firm track effects of that Caulfield run, probably why he didn't let down. He travelled so well into that race and then found nothing. That's typically what horses do when they feel the track and feel their joints. So his work at Breakfast with the Best was absolutely outstanding, suggesting he was back, and then obviously had the temperature since then. I think it's like the Cup. You're either backing in the best horse or you find something to beat him. I think you're just backing the best horse. Like, if he's here, ready to go, J-Max back aboard, he's not taking on much here. Like, he was going to start 280 in that Cox Plate. Mwanga's run fourth, beaten sort of 4 lengths. I think he's definitely the danger at $8. Like, Colette had every possible chance last start in the Empire Rose. That's the absolute PR. Hungry Heart, I just don't think she's good enough at this level. Superstorm's got a bit of a question mark at him at 2,000. Like, it's a good race, but you've seen a bloody good horse just own this market. He'll probably just own this race. I'm struggling to see him getting beat, to be honest. If he's anywhere near his best, I think 85% he could win this race.
I'd probably just, I'm not overly keen to bet in the race, but I'd be probably having a small little peanut on Moanga and Superstorm just for an interest bet, or if TopSport are betting the money back second and thirds, I think you could back one or both of those runners. And
I was surprised they weren't shorter. Like, Colette 550 seems wrong to me. I think she's sort of like $8-9 chance.
Yeah, she was on. I can see why people are more in her corner though.
Yeah, and she was heading towards a Caulfield Cup, so 2,000 metres is no qualms, but she'd be probably better suited today with the
it's like
because when that rain comes Saturday, like it's going to be dry, and then it's going to be rain on. It just depends when it comes Saturday, doesn't it?
If it comes in time for this race, it's not going to hurt Zaki. He can get through the wet. So.
Yeah, he's going to like the sting out.
Yeah, I thought if he's at 100%, big yard race for me. I'll be the first time I've seen Zaki in person, but I thought he definitely improved into his last start off the yard sort of stuff, and I think he definitely felt the firm effects of that track. But yeah, very much looking forward to Saturday, seeing him in Nature Strip. Nature Strip's, if you want to learn anything about the parade, just watch how Nature Strip parades, and that's what you want to find pretty much.
All right, if you want to follow Nico's stuff, Mounting Yard Mail for $22 a week, every Wednesday and Saturday in normal time, but he's definitely going to be out there today, Thursday and Saturday for this week. All right, it's one of our favourite segments of the show. I think it's short and sweet this time. It's Mugs Moral.
Hi guys, this is everyone's favourite segment, the Mugs Moral. Last week's one got scratched, but I tipped you the winner of the Golden Eagle, and just forgot you. So guys, this week, we only got to wait till 5:25 this week. Race 8, number 1, Rocker Clock. This horse has been running great. It's beat Nice Bath and a horse that won last Saturday at Flemington, the last, Mahija, I can't pronounce his name. But has won third up before. Good barrier, good jockey. It should be winning. At $3.90, I see in my form guide. So guys, Mugs Moral this week is race 8, number 1 in the Hot Danish Rocker Clock. And what does the Mug say when he finds a backside winner? Go find your bookie. Thank you and good luck, boys.
Oh, Mug Pun, I tell you what, he nearly needs the paddock. He's a bit croaky. He's coming to the end of his tether.
You can understand it in a way if, when he puts up what he eats a lot of the nights. I mean, he does have the 5 deep-fried food groups covered most nights of the week. Someone said to him last night, geez, you eat some shit.
Might have to get him on a restricted diet or some sort of meal plan.
The Coke. He's always got the Coke there too.
The Coke, that's a killer, the Coke. All right, so race 8, number 1, Rocker Clock at $3.90 in the Hot Danish. It's at the top of the market there. So fingers crossed Mug can strike there. And let's have I'm surprised they're racing at Rose Hill this week, but you know what they've done? They've scheduled race 10 at 6:45 again.
Darren Flindell will be happy about that.
Yeah,
he teed off. Which is,
now deleted tweet.
I wonder if he got a phone call from Mr.
Emperor
Tipping
he would have.
Tipping he would have got a tap on the
4 a.m. tweet too. So he's had a big night. Tell us what you really think, Darren.
Got the courage up.
Yeah.
Full of drink.
I didn't enjoy it last week. Obviously, I was having a winning day, so it's good. But I could see a lot of people turning off and not bothering at 6:45. Like, fair go. Like, they've got a massive range up there in Sydney. It's either 11 o'clock or 11:30, or you're batting on until quarter to 7. It's it's hard enough with Ascot, and I don't really play much in Perth myself. Your brother does, T-Dogs does.
Yeah, he
but
likes to crack there.
it's good for, I guess, the Western Australian clients, and maybe that's what they're doing is the Perth Carnival starting to kick off over there.
You can't have both. Like, you can't be looking to get the early clients,
what are you
spend
doing?
their money early and then want to reinvest at 7 o'clock. Like, it's a long time if they're the recreational punters. Like, they could have done their money in an hour.
Isn't the point of everything trying to shorten race days and shorten the gap between races and things like that, and shorter and sharper, and then he goes and does that. So anyway, not surprised, Emperor up there in North Korea.
Someone's saying that Mug Punter's got the Clive Palmer diet. Tell you what, if you keep going that way, Mug, by the time you're 50, you might start looking like big Aussie Clive. All right, let's have a look at the TopSport steamers here, and these are for today. So this is Thursday's. Race 2, number 2, is Foxy Frida, 1800 at 370. Any thoughts here, Nico?
2-horse race, her and Cirilio Miss. I think she can turn the tables. Too bad she couldn't get the result for us last start when we won at $17. But I think back to Flemington, I think Foxy Frida's had 3 starts there for 2 wins and a narrow second where she probably should have won. So that's her big advantage getting to Flemington small horse field. She can probably stalk Cirilio Miss. It's a 2-horse race. It's
2 good mares, aren't they?
It's probably flip them, really. They probably both could have been big chances in an Empire Rose if they want to go there. But this race is there and attracted a small field. I think Rocker Clock won this race last year for the Mug.
The Mug's moral.
So, bit of form there.
All right, the next one here is Scratch Race 5, number 3, Decent Rain, but maybe that's one to follow. The horse is obviously knocking the door down, but
she's running Saturday.
Running Saturday.
Yep.
And then there's been 2 back for the Oaks. No surprise here. They could be Assaulters bets. Race 8, number 2, Willowy. 3,000 at 420, and the other one is number 4 Biscayne Bay, 2,000 at $7. So they've shot well there.
Lined up with the Salties.
420 into 320, and then $7 into 6. And looking at Saturday's Flemington card, it's race 4, number 1 O President. I think that's a Waller horse there, 1,000 at $15. Nico?
I could think of a lot better ways to spend $1,000 than back O President, that's for sure.
Interesting one, because he was sort of thrown in the deep end, wasn't he, first up? And
it's cast. Looks completely gone. He's done nothing this whole prep.
Got a gear change or anything? No?
Not that I know of.
All right, so we're going to swerve that one as well. And then race 7, number 2 is Sinawan. 1,000 at 850.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire with this horse potentially because he's got some world class overseas form. He bumped into Armory one day, some form around Japan. He's come to the Freedman stable. I think they've half showed their hand. They've booked J-Mac for his first ride here in Australia, but the market sort of isn't come with him early, probably because the trial watchers got no idea to do off his jump out. He sort of got back. Was a bit one-paced. It was in a quick heat, but he hit the line in sort of okay style. I did note through the line he was pretty strong, though, so maybe that's what you really want to take out of his work. First up, 1,400. He's got to tackle Shayu.
But Shayu on the backup?
A few other... Like, her best is fresh. Like, everyone was saying, how good she's going to be fresh into that Empire Rose. And now she's, 6 days or 7 days between runs, whether that's going to be the key for her. I think back to 1,400. She's unbeaten Flemington 1,400, so that'll be the key to her. But yeah, if that thing's in a ones... if he's 8s into $4,
that's right.
Like,
that's
the key, isn't it?
Red alert.
Tristan's saying 20 minutes when they up their limits and they bet those. But those imports we've seen before. Those imports, the betting tells the story.
100%. It's interesting. Dice Roll was if you can forgive him one run, he'd be in that race for sure. Rainier comes in there fresh. You got Age of Chivalry.
I thought Age of Chivalry
looks like a bit of a target race.
1x3 sort of play there. He gets a very soft run down in the weights considering
$13.
what he's carried recently.
Speaking of that camp, I wonder what's going to happen there with the split up and all that. Elton Zara's busting up after the carnival. So
when's that washout?
Yeah, and wonder who ends up where and who takes horses and someone moves away from Flemington or whatever. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how they split the whole thing up.
Don't know if it's the right class of race here, but Be Good to Your Mother was not bad over a mile last time and be better suited back to 1,400.
Shayu absolutely failing to beat him at Sounddown. So he might be a chance as well. It's a deep race, that.
Fascinating stuff there. All right, I think that's nearly a wrap from us. There's no other late sort of questions into the chat, but make sure you check out Little Birdie Shop. DK's stepped in and back one. Nico's got the Mounting Yard Mail, and I think we're going to take a little bit of a break after Cup Week for a fortnight and do our last show of the year in the lead up to Sandown Classic Day, and I think we're going to do a stream. There might be a bit of a battle coming up, so follow us on YouTube and all across our social channels for that. We'll still be pumping through some emails, some tips. We've got the app ready to go. It's we're about to launch that in the Apple Store, so make sure you jump into the Apple or Android store and download Little Birdie app, and we're going to start to have some fun with some punters clubs and some streams, and we'll still be pretty active over summer. We've still got Third and Long up and going. Got the new NBA show that's on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So there's going to be plenty of activity in Little Birdie land, but we've only got the one more show of Bet Doctor.
We've nearly done 40 shows for the year, if we scoop.
Yeah, nearly cracked out 40. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. With COVID, you just sort of... You just get in this... it's just like we've just been non-stop. You just go clicking away at the same sort of clip, so a bit of a freshen up won't hurt us.
Rinse repeat, wasn't it? A lot of those weeks.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a time warp, the whole scenario, but... Big thanks to Borko, our AV guy. He's done a great job to make the show look so good. And you see the live show, it's gone off without a hitch. So hopefully we can do more of those. We've kept it all PG. So
we have, yes. Haven't dropped an F-bomb or anything.
We're not going to get in trouble. So fingers crossed all the punters at home can have a lot of luck on Oaks Day and on Saturday. And make sure you get around TopSport. As you heard from Tristan, they're taking everyone on, the smart punters. They don't discriminate, and they're great for the game. Without TopSport in the game, I don't know where it'd be. So make sure you support them and puntingform.com.au. They're our lifeblood for doing the form. And big shout out to Shane Baker, Heath, and all the boys there for doing all the hard work with all the sectional times. But that's a wrap from us from now. But good luck on the punt, and we'll see you soon.
Bam, bam, bam.